Just keep in mind, we don't know what we're doing. This is not a how-to.
No.
This may be a how not to.
Days of solar shed, day 18. Today's going to be a little bit different.
We are not outside.
Nope.
We're not laying bags.
Nope.
Instead, we're arguing over roofing.
We're not arguing. We're just trying to figure out what the heck we're doing.
We're stressing out over roofing because we are not roofers.
And so we have been calling places today and trying to get estimates on materials and trying to think of all the materials we might need, because we keep forgetting things.
Mm-hmm.
And we really want to get these materials here before the end of the 30 days, so hopefully we can work on the roof during this 30-day project, but we just don't know if that's going to happen.
We are in a time crunch.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes time to get things delivered, so.
Especially when you're in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So today's going to be weird. Like I said, we're not going to be outside. We're not really going to be doing anything. We're just going to take a few minutes. I'm recording my screen on my laptop here, and I'm going to show you sort of what we're thinking and how we're going to build the roof. I'm going to try to make it as interesting as possible.
Just keep in mind, we don't know what we're doing. This is not a how-to.
No.
This may be a how not to.
Maybe.
It might
we'll
end
see
up
what
that
happens.
way.
Yeah. This is just a practice run for our real house. So
Yeah.
we're gonna see if this works. And
hopefully for our house, it will be, we're working with like professionals.
We'll have a better idea of what we're doing. Or we'll
Okay.
be professionals.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Oh.
Okay. So, the way that we're thinking about doing this is the roof is going to be really large. And the reason for that is that we want to catch rainwater.
Mm-hmm.
We really need to catch rainwater out here. We need as big a roof as possible, so we might as well cover the entire building, both the circle and the rectangle.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why this roof looks so big on the screen. Now here's how we're thinking about doing it. I'm going to turn off some layers here. Hold on. Okay. So it's going to start with these are beams, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So in order to support this much roof, we want one beam that goes all the way across on both the rectangle and the circle.
Yeah.
And that will be an LVL beam, not just like a regular piece of wood.
We're going to go with the LVL, and we've been told to do this because our circle is a 10-foot diameter. We need a 12-inch LVL beam.
12-inch high.
Right.
Yeah. We'll
so
need
it'll
two
be two together.
Yeah.
So it'll be closer to 3 inches by 12 inches and span the entire dome and the office.
So the width of that beam is about 27 feet.
Right.
Yeah. Now, one thing to back up even a little more is if you look at the actual roof, you'll notice that it's overhanging everything by quite a bit. And so the reason for that is that we wanted to do passive solar. And so the windows that are going to go on the front of the rectangle building, which we'll show you in a minute, they need a certain amount of overhang at a certain height for the sun to shade them in the summer and then not shade them in the winter. Based on the calculations that we've done, that needs to be 1.5 feet.
There is a website that you can actually go to figure all that out. You put in where your building's located, and according to the
time of year
yeah.
and your latitude,
yeah.
and then
you can actually scroll through and see the shade changing based on your seasons.
Yeah. And so we figured, well, if we're coming out 1.5 feet on the front, we'll just go 1.5 feet all the way around. And so that's why the roof looks a little extra large than probably you would think it would need to be.
But also on the back side of the office, we wanted extra overhang there because eventually we will have some things setting out on what will eventually be like a back deck.
Right, so right here, we're hoping to put some deep freezes back here. Maybe right there, see that?
Maybe.
See those deep freezes?
Something like that.
Filled with delicious meats. Okay, anyway.
Back to the roof.
Back to the roof. So for this to be supported out to the top and to the bottom, or I guess the back and the front, we are going to need to install some 4x4 posts because as you can see, there's nothing supporting this roof out here, and there's nothing supporting this roof out here, which is, we're quickly realizing one of the downsides to our unique design of this rectangle circle thing, that it offsets, and so now you have these like weird pockets where we're having just to support beams. So that's what's going to happen.
Okay. Now, also one thing we forgot to mention is in the front of our building, we will actually be coming up 2 feet to where we have a 12-1 pitch.
Should I show that?
Yeah.
I'm going to show that. Hold on. Ignore all this. Here we go. Okay.
So this is the view of the side of the building. We're looking at the west-facing wall.
Yep.
And you can see that in the front, we're going to actually come up 2 feet with what is called a clear story. So we'll actually have some windows in there. And then our rafters will be resting at each point along this wall. So you have it on the front, middle, and the back.
Right, so we're going to explain that a little bit more. But that was just kind of a visual of how the roof will pitch. So, back to this, if you go and we are going to turn on our rafters. So we're doing 2x8s, right?
Yep.
But here's the thing, this is a 20... Hold on, let's forget.
It's almost 22.
It's almost 22 feet long, which they don't make. They don't make 22-foot 2x8s. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to run a 2x8 from this front to this one, and then next to it we'll take another 2x8 and run it from this one to this one.
Yeah, and our rafters are going to be set 16 inches on the center.
Right, yeah. So if we had to do it again, we would make sure that we could get this span in a single 2x8 because we've effectively doubled our cost.
Right.
Way to go. Good job.
High five.
Yeah.
On top of our rafters are going to be 1/2-inch CDX plywood, and then an underlayment, and then our metal roof.
Right. And then we'll be done.
And then we're hoping that it actually works.
Then we got to do all the flashing and all that other stuff that goes along with the roof.
Gutters, water catchment eventually.
Right. But that's the sort of the basic idea. And also we'll have to work in venting to this somehow.
Right. That's something else we have to figure out.
Yeah. And I was thinking too, like, we'll have to figure out some sort of way to run internet antennas or a Wi-Fi antenna or something.
That's your department. I don't know anything
We'll have to run that up to the roof. Also, back to here. So here's our, on the front, so you would have these 3 windows. You would have the post over here to support. And then, so we have this weird hole here because on the circle, it's like halfway, and you can't really see it from this elevation. Maybe from this elevation it's a little bit more visible. But you would have sort of this section about from here to here where we might lay more bags to fill that space in.
Or we may just cob and bottle.
Maybe.
We have a lot of options there, and we're not sure entirely what we'll end up doing.
Right, but we will have to fill this space with something.
Yep.
And it will hopefully be fairly insulative.
Yep.
So we spent the day, most of the day, like planning this and like putting a parts list together and calling people, and we're still waiting to hear back on a few estimates. So we're still hoping that we're going to be able to get this stuff here in time for the 30 days. Hopefully.
And if we don't, we'll be doing something else on the shed.
Yeah, we have a few other ideas, a few tricks up our sleeves.
But really, really hoping that this roof comes through on time.
So, short one today. Are we back at bags tomorrow?
Yep.
Probably?
Yep.
Yeah. We're getting really high. Like,
I know. Dangerously high.
Dangerously high.
Scares me.
Anyway, we will see you tomorrow. We'll have a little more outside action for you.